guys, my name is David Kenneth. Yes, from Moi University.
Which one, Moi?
Yeah, you do Moi. Okay, Moi is the best, but you can intertwine all of them, and we'll see the outcome.
Which camera? Which camera? This one.
Use this camera over here. Yeah, this one.
Anaitwa Njeri, msichana mali safi, nilimcheki juzi, namtaka anitakie. Njeri, kama yemi ya darati, basi mimi kijana, nimesema simuachi Njeri.
Thank you, Anne, for having me in your channel today to talk about what I do. Yeah, everything. Yeah, thank you.
I would like you to first introduce yourself and say what you do basically.
Yeah, basically my name is David Kenneth. I'm the founder and CEO of Filamu Mtaani TV. So Filamu is a grassroots media organization that produces audio visuals, and basically our aim is to mentor young people in film and TV production. Yeah.
Okay. What did you do after your form 4 before joining campus?
Well, immediately I finished my exam, form 4 exam. I went to look for a job 2 weeks after the exam. Actually, I went to look for a job. I started as a waiter in a hotel.
Wow,
and,
where?
that is in Ayugis.
Oh, okay.
From there, I wanted to do a lot in terms of production, but I really don't know how to go into that kind of opportunity whereby I could grow my skills. And I bumped into an opportunity online by Shamba Shape Up, and basically applied, and then I was called. So from there, my life changed there because I was selected to be part of the East Africa reality show on farming. So they're shooting the show for an entire year, and then the following year it was being aired on TV. So that one at least gave me an opportunity to at least interact and network with people, and then that is where I really started to learn and understand myself. I think I was 19 years old back then. Yeah. Yeah, and then I was earning a little bit, like, let me say something good.
That is nice.
Yeah.
So after Shamba Shape Up, what did you venture into next?
So after Shamba Shape Up, I ventured into poultry farming. I also started Filamu Mtaani. Actually, that is in 2017. Actually, when I started Filamu Mtaani. So basically, I was the director, cameraman, and everything. So I was like, let me teach other few young people how to shoot stuff like that. And from there it was growing. So I was like doing a mentorship for young people for free, because at the end of the day I was getting to learn. So how did I start? I approached my brother, because my brother was in Nairobi. I told him, hey, send me editing software. I didn't know how to edit. So I said, okay, let me start by learning all these stuff on YouTube. And then I had a small camera, Nikon Coolpix. That is where I started with. So from there the skills grew over time. Yep. Then when I joined campus, that's where there was another story of now Filamu in another phase. Yeah.
What was the first film or video that you shot with the first Filamu Mtaani TV when it was in 2017? Yeah,
so the first project, actually I was the director, editor, scriptwriter. So unakuja mbele ya kamera unasema, I want to do my part because I've written a script. Actually, it was a 2-page script, but actually we shot it for 2 days. That was my first project, doing everything. And everyone was basically an amateur on set. And I'm like, okay, let me just do this. So, kifika part yangu, you see that camera, that frame? Now, take a still photo? Yes. So I go and check that still photo, then that's where I started. So my first video, actually it was in Windows format. It's only playing on laptop, on Windows supported media, or maybe, yeah. And when I went, so when I went to burn it, the person from that particular cyber cafe was able to duplicate the video, so people could get it, but I didn't know. And then someone said, wow, that's a good video. And actually people love the content, so I said I can do this more and more. Yeah, so from that particular time now, I started to do more videos. And then when I came to Moi University as a student, the first time when they were electing a class rep, I said, wow, you guys have an idea, because me when I was joining the campus setup, I really knew what I wanted. So I knew I can become a director, I can become a media personality. So all this I shared with my friends, right? Why not join me to do this particular project? I have a brand called Filamu Mtaani. At that particular time, it was just running online and a few videos here and there. But actually, I was able to shoot a couple of videos where I was at home. And I'm like, okay. So they joined. So everyone was like giving roles. You do become a director. But over time, I realized all these people, they were coming not because of how interested, how passionate they were. They were coming because of the pomp and the color they see in the production world. Wow, I want to be seen on the camera. Wow, wow. But with time, some of them dropped off because of they lost interest and the resilience. Some were not interested in this particular field. Yeah.
When you joined Moi University, what course did you come to do?
I came to do media. I want to track you back. There's a time I visited BBC. That is back in 2017. True story. So I was being featured for young farmers who are making impact in East Africa. So there's this editor called Wanyama Chebusiri. So there's a point where I was taken to a BBC Swahili studio. Then I found a script and I was reading. So Wanyama was like, this young man, come tomorrow with your CV and just maybe your papers can give a job. Like, wow. But I didn't have the job. So I didn't have the papers, sorry. So he said, let me go back and look for these particular credentials or maybe that are needed. The resume. Yeah, because yes, I was creative, but I didn't have that something palatable to present. Yeah.
Oh, that is
so
nice.
I wanted media when I was coming to. I knew media.
That was like the career choice you had from when you were a kid. You remember when we were kids, we were like, "Mimi nataka kuwa pilot, mimi nataka kuwa fisherwoman."
Actually, I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be. My dream was to
wow.
hold a camera, be on a microphone, people to listen to me. Because as early as class 3, you remember the introduction of Kabambe phones that you were able to capture a few videos. So I used to capture small videos like Jambo mpenzi msilaji leo niko, because my mom used to love that. So it could give me her phone and then I would record. So I think the passion grew over time and like just go for media. So I wanted to do everything, but with time I understood that I'm so creative behind the lens. And then I love stories. So I understood that why not intertwine the skills that I have to create something new that the world needs. So that is something that I just said, let me go and do media, because media allows me to be in different fields without being exhausted. Like that's who I am. So I feel I'm multi-skilled. Yeah.
Between being a director, being a script writer, being in front of the camera as the camera person and the video person, which one do you prefer being on a, let's say you're being chosen among the best of the best, and you're being told to choose one spot, which one would you take?
I'll take a director, and then I'll take a producer. But a producer people avoid. Now let me start with the director. For the director, I love to tell stories, and then I'd love someone to give me what I want. Actually, I'm good at working with people, so that's why majority of my friends call me Director Ken. But of course, I love to be called a director because I feel I'm more visionary. When you give me an idea, I will be able to execute it. Yeah. For a producer, you think about the financial side. You look at the overall vision of the production side, and the success of any production. Apart from the director, people
Mostly on the
producer. So I think the director, and then the director. It's a big name. It's a big name on set, and it allows you to grow your creative mindset. You know, when you are a producer, you get the final product. You don't just think about the financial side, the vision of the film in terms of the distribution
you just
aspect.
want the results.
Yeah.
You don't care about
Exactly.
the
But for the
process.
director, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
You learn a lot because
You get to interact with a lot of people.
a lot of script, a lot of because there's creativity coming,
Personality.
personality. So I get to learn a lot from the field than being in the producing side, whereby I just only interact about the who do we need in this particular, like the manpower itself. But when it comes to director, you actually on the field, so you are like the creative guy. So I love to be the creative guy than to be the financial or the techie guy. Yeah.
Or being behind the camera,
Behind the
being
camera,
the one who's being recorded.
Yeah.
Who's your who do you look up to as a director, or who's the best director that you would want to reach their level, or they have been inspiring you, you would want to reach where they have reached?
Wow.
For me personally, I will go with the raw filmmaker. He's one
filmmaker.
person that I really admire his work.
Yeah. Basically, for me in Kenya, I'm looking forward to be, not to be that particular person, but let me say the next Eugene Bugua. Yeah,
He also has quality work.
Quality work. So I'm looking forward in terms of creating content and selling. I'm looking at I'm looking at Enos Soliki's work in terms of being a certain director with a certain kind of a touch. So you find every director has a different kind of a culture that you get to. If you see this, you say this is Ken's work. There's a day you'll say this has not been directed by Ken. This is not Ken's work. So I feel like the people my work resonated with certain kind of people because of the kind of culture and the style I've picked from those particular people I've mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is nice. What is the, by the time you're choosing the people or the individuals to work with on a certain project, what's the core values that you expect each and every one of them to have or to maintain so that you may have a smooth working condition and environment?
One is professionalism. And then there are another aspect that I think I work with lots of people with different emotions, people who are hyper-tempered, people with different personalities.
Yeah.
And one of the qualities that I have is like I'm flexible to work with different people. We can have people who are choleric, people like they want things to be straight. They also have people who have sanguine, people who are like they make a lot of jokes, sometimes they don't care about so much. But I think one of the things that I look for is professionalism, and then I look at the character because the character tells it all. And then one of the things that has been so amazing because opportunity tests character. So over time I get to understand the people when I give them certain role higher than me. So how do they behave when you give them to become a director when you're just a normal person on set? So that is how it has stand out for me. So I test them with particular roles. And then kuna ile tunasema kiherehere. So you find someone, hey Ken, can I direct? So unapata ile kiherehere poa, anasema hey Ken, unaona when you're on set that person is so quick at giving ideas, and then it's so like wow, I think he is correcting with love. I think what if you add this? Not that what you're doing is bad, but what if you add? So I'm looking at the emotional intelligence because at some point on set, people are tensed up. But we need sometimes to create humor because on my set people don't just become serious all the time. So you find me, I'm the guy, sometimes I want to create humor on set. As the producer, as the director. And at some point you find I've changed into a particular mood. No. But that is because of, I want people to feel like we are a family on set. People are like, because that creative mind will create an opportunity for you to be more even creative.
And they make people open up more and give more ideas and more things that will come about.
So I also love people who are outgoing. And I also love people who can always swallow their ego and say, wow, if I'm given this, I was wrong, I was right. Yeah, because even me at some point I make a lot of mistakes on set. But I allow my team to correct me. Boss, I think here you didn't go well. Like, allow myself to be accountable to them. Yeah.
Okay, so after starting the Filamu Mtaani and venturing into different films here in school, you also decided to venture into content creating for money. How did you get about that?
Well, I learned one thing is that always building a good resume, and then your skills grow over time. So what I decided to do is that I want to take this thing commercial, and as much as we are doing films, we are mentoring people. There should be another end goal. We need to grow and expand our boundaries and our network. So how did I do it? I was able to shoot a samples pilot, like pitch to organizations, because I learned that aspect. I'm also good at pitching, so I learned that aspect of how can I approach those organizations. Yes, there is that internet, so approach them with a sample project that belongs to them, but I've shot it for them. You get that particular aspect. So they were able to agree. I've shot for Osho Chemical Industries, and I'm looking forward to shoot for more. I've also worked for other organizations because I'm not able to mention for now, and I'm also looking forward to go big, actually, to go beyond the borders. So it's basically you have to be disciplined and then package what you do. You can be doing film, but you've not told people where can I get your work. Yes, it can be on YouTube, but have you packaged it in a way that somebody can understand? Yes, this is the guy. and then the implementation aspect, because we've realized that it's yes, you can shoot, but how can you implement that aspect to the extent that when you pitch to that particular company, they understand this is the guy we need. Because you find me, we have a history with agriculture, so they're able to say this guy, when we call this particular person, we'll be able to shoot according to what we need. Yeah.
Also, I would like to know how there's a time, either last year, I think last year before the corona period, there was a project that you were working on taking one kid who is good at either poetry or music and shooting a video for them to promote them as part of your logo or business idea.
Yeah.
So how did that go about?
Yeah, actually we had one. Actually I had a team called Farmers Gang. So these are young people who are that is from the grassroots.
Yeah.
We just sponsor the entire music video. Actually, in a way, we try to leverage the cost. At some point, we take it for free. In 2018, we had 2019. So every year, we pick up an artist, somebody creative, and we're able to sponsor them. So this year, actually, is out of public domain, but actually, we've taken someone's Mokaya. I'm shooting Mokaya, his YouTube channel. And actually, that's a way of like promoting the growth of other brands, because when they grow, we also grow at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But actually, we don't put it in a way that we publicize what we do for other people, like our CSR activity, like corporate responsibility activity. So we take up that opportunity of growing other people. Of course, we also taken another guy. So this year we are working with two. There's another artist. Actually, we are looking for to produce his music. He's a good artist. He has produced a couple of songs. So that is a way of us enriching our society, because we love
making people know more about the people who are not yet there in the society. Venturing into them, how do you choose the people that you will work with? And are the people entitled to be in a specific area, or do they come from just wherever, as long as you have the talent and you're ready to put in the effort?
Yes, yeah. So long as you have the talent, you're ready to put in the effort, and then we look at the sustainability of us coming in, because we are looking at someone who is passionate about it and is willing to go the extra mile. In as much as we'll do for the videos, are you able to even distribute it, market it? Because at the end of the day, we are looking at are you having the drive to make it succeed on your own first before even us coming in to help you? And then they're coming from different localities. We're not choosy at the end of the day. So yeah.
That is nice. Doing upgrading for the society and for the better good. You've also worked with certain organizations, certain resorts that you go and shoot, maybe media personalities. How do you come about such opportunities? Do you inbox them? Do you see an advertisement somewhere, or do you take yourself and pitch your idea and you're like, I can do this and this for the company, so can I come and help here and there? How do you send yourself out there?
So what I do, I actually pitch to them the idea. You know, one of the things that I do actually, if someone is listening to me right now, so I create a list of 10 people that I want to approach by the end of the week, or 30, and I make a call to each of them. Hey, can I set up a meeting with you? They say yes or no. So if they say yes, I'll have to come up with a concept paper of what I want to talk to you about. So this is what I want to do. There's a list of things I want to do, and I put in value. Because if you don't see the value of me coming into your organization, you won't hire me. So I basically tell them, this is what I want to do for you. At the end of the day, this is what I need next thing, because you also need value back. Because if you give them value, you also need value back. So if they accept with my terms, we also work together. At some point, I'll tell them, I'll do for you this. So what can you offer me in return? If it's something palatable for me, I'll take it. But if it's not something that is working for me, I will not be able to work with them. But one thing that I always do, I'm having that the go-getter mindset, whereby I'll have to sell to you my idea. Because I have to come up with a unique idea of selling to you. Like, for example, the Inchipai comes and cottages. I'll tell you, I'll do for you videos, I'll do for you photography. But next thing, what are you offering in return? Maybe in some payment, or maybe in a location, maybe. It depends with what you offer to me at that particular time. Yeah. So I take myself to them and tell them, this is what I need. Yeah.
When you told your family, your mom, your bro, that you will be venturing into film after Form 4, how did they take it?
And actually, I didn't tell them I'm going to venture. Actually,
They just found out.
they just found out, your son is doing this and this and this. And like, I didn't have even a particular meeting to tell my dad, you know what, I'm studying film mitani. No. Like, it's a very funny story. My dad,
Yeah.
my dad knew that I was so talented in, I used to do what we call mimic comedy news in high school. There's no particular day I took to my parents telling them, I want to do this.
Yeah.
They're like, they find out, oh, your son is doing this, or they attend a meeting and they find me performing there. That is how they will find out. And then at a particular point, they used to tell them, I'm going to do this. So just give me some time. So they were able to give me a room to grow.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to allow them to also have their side of the story. At some point, they feel like, no, it's not making sense. But over time, it was able to make sense to them. So, yeah.
Oh, that is nice. You talked about mimicking. Can you mimic for us maybe the late President Moi? I think that is the one you always mimic the best. And how did you start mimicking? Did it come like in high school or just from yourself?
By the way, I really stopped in 2016, but I was mimicking for like 12 years. I was in mimicry industry. But I really stopped because people could picture me as a politician or the next person, but I didn't like politics per se. Even for now, I didn't do. Actually, if you ask me something about politics, I don't want to be in politics. I want to be behind the scenes. Yeah.
Okay.
So wow. A funny story about how my dad knew I was and somebody could mimic. Back in primary school. So they used to hear, your son is an entertainer. They come to parents' meeting, your son is an entertainer. They ask me, I say, no.
You thought you would be punished or something.
Yeah, that's another punishment you're waiting. Nimekupeleka shule uende kusoma.
Wewe umeenda kufanya shughuli ukichekesha watu.
Yeah.
And you know how parents are.
Yeah.
And entertainment wasn't like a thing as up until recently.
Up until recently, we see other creative people are making money out of it. And I'm like, okay. So there's a day I entertain people. So I was like, there's a time my dad was in another room listening to news, and then anasikia sauti ingine ya Moi inaendelea kwa news. So akapose akasema, "Huyu nani anaongea kama Moi?" Nikasema, "Hapana, ni maybe tu." So another day I was listening, akasema, "My dad, niko na talent fulani. I want to show you today." I entertain people during the closing day. Wacha kaa chini nikwambie.
This is when you're in ukiwa
primary
okay.
Class 7. You can entertain people. Na vile uko serious hapa nyumbani. Haya. Akaka. When I started, akaka. Imagine my dad laughed until paka nikaona machozi. Then nikasema, this is the talent now.
Umejua talent yako.
Yeah, sasa nimejua talent yako. Kaambia, my son, endelea. But when I joined high school, they said, no, don't do that. But you know, your passion ni kitu yenye uwezi ficha. You can't hide your passion for long. People notice it. And there's always that inner drive. Because I love this quote, better an egg that is broken from inside than an egg that is broken externally. Better internal motivation than external motivation. So I could continue with that. So they used to hear I'm imitating people. So you know, by that time, like, there were 1,000 people. So I was reading news and I was like the Emmanuel Juma of that time, the bullseye. So I could imitate even the school.
In high school?
In high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I reached Form 4, I said, it's time to give up this thing and try now film because I loved cameras. Yeah. So, yeah.
Did the school that you are in, the high school, offer... You see how in Moi University there's the Vandai Club where you can get to learn how to use the camera, how to do photography, videography, how to edit, how to write scripts, how to edit them, content, what not. In high school, do you have that opportunity? In my school personally, we used to have a club which was called Press Club, I think.
It was
the
journalism club.
Press Club or the journalism club. So did you have such and did it help? Because personally I think for us the journalism club was all about funkies. Because okay,
Me, I maximized on the other side of the funky side. But
the bigger part, because okay, and like in primary for us, where you could get, maybe it's on Wednesday, we used to have parades every day, Monday to Friday. Then you could get this one day mtu anakuja anasoma jarida ya Kiswahili, like a whole story, maybe hii wiki kumekuwa na in Kiswahili, sanifu Kiswahili and whatnot. Because you know you're trying to develop the Kiswahili language, because most people are quite good in English,
yeah,
but the Kiswahili
is one thing.
So yeah, did you have such in maybe primary or high school?
In high school. So me, I was not particularly trained. So I trained myself. I used to have my time, and then I was the one in charge of the news in high school. So I tagged along my friend called Maswa Anthony. So we used to do the Swahili segment every Monday, and then it's Friday. After 2 weeks, the Friday part of it we'll do the English show. After the news segment, we created the jingles actually, like the news will do ding. So there's that guy playing the piano, the news there, yeah. So and then I introduced a new segment called the Bullseye. So at that particular time, I could come. I was Emmanuel Juma, imitating Emmanuel Juma's voice, and then I introduced the Raila's voice, Kalonzo's voice, Moi's voice, and then mix it up. So there's a way I could intertwine all this and then bring in the principal's voice, and then it was like funny. So and it was not like making it like sound like comedy, but I was trying to educate people that this is what is happening in the outside world, and then bringing it into the school, and then it was like sort of a humor. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have trouble with teachers, or did they encourage you? Were your teachers like, unajua unafaa kusoma kwanza, ukitoka nje ndio utaenda kufanya hizo shughuli zingine, hapo uko ndani ya shule kwanza soma? Or they encourage even co-curricular activities? They
encourage co-curricular activity. I remember there's a point where I was in my school. My school was based in Hawendo. Then I was invited for an event in Kisumu. And even the principal was able to organize for me to meet a particular event, and I actually was paid. You get it? So my principal really supported what I do, in as much as I was creating humor with his voice. Yeah, and then at some point I could be called for an event, then given money. So it actually sustained me during my high school. So actually I was able to interact money at an early age. Yeah.
Hence, you wanted to work. You know, you started immediately after Form 4. 2 weeks in, you have already started looking for work. And like some of us, we were at home. We were at home watching to know what is okay and what is not.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I was about to imitate, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were about to imitate.
Which one, Moi?
Yeah, you do Moi. Okay, Moi is the best, but you can intertwine all of them, and we'll see the outcome.
Which camera? This one.
Use this camera over here. Yeah, this one.
Wageja, unajua siasa ni kama maembe. Wengine wanajua, nadhani bwana Moi ameaga. Bado niko. Ako ndani ya director Kenneth. Niko hapa na tembe.
That is Kibaki.
Kibaki.
Yeah.
Haya maneno ni maneno yenu.
Nasema bwana Raila Molo amelea. Mimi niko hapa na ninatamba. Ama sivyo? Mimi natamba, si ndio?
That was him mimicking some of our presidents, and the late President Moi, as well as Kibaki, who's still alive. Yeah. So, considering you started earning cash at a young age, you started interacting with grown-ups and giving ideas at a young age, have you ever pitched an idea that you were so sure it's great, but the outcome, or how the person or the organization received it, you kind of felt it's not worth the work that I kept into preparing it? And how did you take it from there? Did you feel like giving up? Or most of the time, or maybe you're lucky enough, most of the time your ideas, once you pitch them, they are able to be accepted? And do you have maybe issues where you're supposed to be given, maybe we've agreed I will get paid this much, but once the deal is done, they are nowhere to be seen?
Most of the time I'm keen with ideas. Yes, I've encountered such, but of course it has been like an opportunity for me to learn and even advance my knowledge, because every time I wanted to shoot a project, I research a lot, I read a lot. And there's a point whereby I was able to pitch a particular idea. Yes, the idea was really, really good from my side, but they were able to pick it up and shoot it for TV. And that's how I was able to lose it. At some point, those ideas are like, you know what, improve on it. But every time it challenges me that
You can do better.
you can do better, and learning is a process. Learning is a process.
So basically, the one idea that you were, maybe it wasn't accepted, they took it as their own and shot it as their. Oh wow! I'm sorry.
So they were able even not to shoot past 7 episodes, or actually.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I've learned in this particular industry that I am in, you have to be kept with ideas. But of course, sometimes someone can take up your idea, launch that particular idea, but they won't sustain it. So
You have to have the creativity base that was kept into starting it up. Or
because you're the person who carries the vision of that particular show. And every time I get to lose such ideas, it teaches me that I'm more creative, because when you're creative, you'll never run out of ideas. You'll never run out of ideas. It's like a flowing river. It's a flowing river. If I tell you a particular idea, never dry up. And that is what has kept me going. And you find in my team, I try as much as possible to work with honest people who value credibility, people who value professionalism, and people don't come up with ideas that belongs to other people. I want ideas that we have are unique, idea that you've never seen before. Even if it is you've seen it before, but there's something new in it. You get it? So, but we don't want to implement our friend's idea, or we see someone's idea and say like, wow, we take credit for it. Yeah.
It's not even professionalism. Oh, okay. That is nice. And before we conclude, I would like to ask 3 final questions. Number 1, what is your biggest regret? Either as a kid, when you ventured into this industry, just anything that you say, I wish I knew before.
I wish I knew is that knowledge, when you take time to learn something, that is a good investment. So I wish I had started investing early in what I wanted to become, but of course that is something that I've regretted over time. And then when you say you're not fit enough, always say, let me give it a try. So in the past I was like, I'm not ready for this, I'm too young for this. The moments whereby I've told people I'm not shooting this project, I'm not ready for it, and I'm not into shows. When you've seen me, I'm not been into nominations or shooting films for awards. So that is my biggest regret, because a couple of years ago I was able to lose in a competition. So it's something I've lived with because I wanted to not to do something because I want to be awarded. I want to do something because I want to impact the society. So that is something at some point I said yes, but it's something that fulfills me, because when I see someone has changed because of what I've done to them, I am always happy about it. Yeah.
What's your life's mantra? The mantra that you live by every day?
Time is a great storyteller. Time is a great storyteller. If I say I'm going to do this, time will tell. If I say I want to become one of the best TV producers in Africa, time is a great storyteller. And where you are right now doesn't determine where you're going. It's about resilience. It's about you understanding yourself. You cannot understand your journey if you don't understand yourself. So I was able to understand myself at a young age. So my mantra is, time is a great storyteller, and then always understand yourself. Because when you understand yourself, you will value yourself. One of the things that mistake that as young people do is that we peg on our value on what people say who we are. But what do we say who
We
are?
are
You get
from
it?
the inside,
Yeah. So we want people to say, hey, Ken is a good director. But have you told yourself you're a good director? Have you told yourself you're a good TV presenter.
Let the whatever come from inside.
Yeah.
Be the first motivation that you need
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your greatest achievement, or the one thing that, you know, the one day that you were the happiest ever since you started doing film?
Yeah, sometime back last year, I think I didn't see it coming, but that was my vision. And I will always tell this, and even the person who is involved in this particular story that I want to share will always share this, is that when I was starting Filamo, I said I want to mentor young people to also mentor other people, and I was so happy. So when last year, when Kalasha Awards nominations, the main character in the film was somebody I mentored. I taught him how to act, and actually he has even able to shoot other films. So it's like every time I say that is my greatest achievement, when he has achieved that and he has impacted more, he's not only doing it for himself, but he's doing that. And he was already having that vision of having a talent academy, which of course I'm really, really proud of him so much. And seeing other young people, even in my team, that people are doing other productions for other companies, which of course that is something I would say, and that is my greatest achievement, like letting people to grow out of what I started, allowing people to become whom they really wanted. Like, wow, I wanted to become an actor. And even yesterday we were having an interview, and like they're saying they have really grown from what started as a small thing. Yeah, so that is my greatest achievement, and I owe it to God a lot. I owe it to God.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Before I forget, last year during the corona period, you started a certain series that was running about mental health. You did some videos on YouTube. I'll put the link. You did some videos on YouTube about the same, where people were acting and whatnot. I also saw last week but one, there's an ebook that is out about mental health. Tell us more about that.
Wow. So about the series that we did for the mental health, we were actually coming up with an idea of telling people, like creating a conversation, a food for thought conversation, whereby you'll say, you know what, I think this is what needs to change. And for the longest time, people people don't understand mental health. They just think a madman walking on the road. But mental health is something so wide, because there is issue of trauma. So I said, why not come up with a content where we talk about mental health on a different perspective, where we share some few nuggets on mental health, and then it will provoke the thoughts in you and start thinking about mental health in a different perspective, from your childhood traumas to domestic violence to everything pertaining mental health. So we did that in a collaboration with Sunshine. Yeah. And then for the ebook, I'm a mental health advocate, because actually, apart from being a filmmaker, I'm trying to use film to advocate for mental health. So as for the ebook, it's called Dear World, whereby different mental health advocates from across the globe were featured. So I was one of them, and actually I was using film to advocate for mental health. And you can get it, it's a free ebook if you can follow Sunshine, or maybe you can look for it. Maybe we'll just share the link.
I'll put the link.
It's a free ebook whereby you talk about mental health. You get to hear personal stories, and everyone in that particular ebook is unique. Everyone is sharing their story, and at the end of the day, it's not about us the advocate. We are talking about things that people need to hear about mental health, and it's so deep, and I wish everyone could just hear that, but that's why it's called Dear World. Yeah.
That is nice. As we come to the conclusion, I would want to know whether the Filamo Mitaani merchandise is it for sale, or do you just give your stuff?
Wow, we are looking forward to do that. That is our overall vision of having our merchandise and even our staff. So that is in the pipeline. Let me say that.
This is how the merchandise will look as. You can see the t-shirt.
Yeah.
So we've come to the end with you, your host Anwambogo, and our first interviewee, or rather my friend David Kenneth. Until next time, goodbye.